Hey everybody, what's going on? So I am here on the classic beta. Um, I noticed that nobody had made a video doing the UI and the interface, the graphic settings and whatnot. So that's what we're gonna go over today. First, let me say I am not an expert on like graphic settings or anything like that. So I'm just gonna go through this and hopefully it's helpful to anyone who's interested in this stuff. So first off. We'll go over the specs and whatnot. My computer, I have a 5820K. It's overclocked to 4.5 gigahertz. I have a 2080 Ti hybrid. That's the water-cooled RTX 2080 Ti. Around the New York City area, getting 25 ping here, and have 32 gigs of RAM, solid-state drive, Samsung. Okay, so the usual stuff. The background stuff, so to say. Now we will go into system and whatnot, and we'll take a look at things. Graphics wise, there's only two options in the display mode. There's a windowed and there's a windowed full screen, which is a little weird. I'm not sure why they don't have an exclusive full screen, but so be it. Right now the graphic settings are at the classic level. This is the original classic when you load the game. First thing we want to do is we'll want to take off these, max foreground and background FPS. Now we can see our FPS went from 100 to, we're getting anywhere between 300 and 400 now. Okay, and so let's take a look around real quick, just see, let's turn off nameplates. Oh. So it tells you when nameplates are on and off. There we go. Try to find an area where, we can test this stuff out without having any variables of people looking around. Okay, so yeah, getting about 450, sometimes 400 to 500 FPS here. So let's start messing around with some of the settings. All right, well, we can just use the slider, and we'll go from there. So the very lowest settings we're going towards here, and we can see on the very lowest settings, getting upwards of 500 FPS on a 2080 Ti. And we can see that, just from my perspective, the game is extremely smooth compared to like a vanilla client. I've played on a lot of vanilla clients recently, and they're not even close to as smooth as this is. So this feels really nice. I have a 240 hertz monitor, and I'm obviously getting 240 hertz here because I can just feel the smoothness compared to on vanilla clients. They typically lock to sometimes like 60 hertz or 120 hertz. I don't know, but I can't get them to go above 120. Alright, so now let's mess with the graphics here a little bit. Let's bump them up. Let's go max out. Let's go to 10. Okay, so we go to 10. We see we get a lot more foliage on the ground. We can see a lot more ground clutter, which I'm not really a big fan of, but if you want a super pretty atmosphere, so be it. Back where we were standing before, still getting over 250 frames here, so getting full use of the monitor. Yeah, still getting over 250 on the very highest settings, which is very good. Blizzard's known to have very well optimized games graphics wise. We know like Overwatch, pretty much you can get 300 FPS on not too good of a graphics card, so nothing too surprising here. Let's go to the advanced graphics here. We want to obviously have reduced input lag on. Don't think we need multi-sampling, but then again, let's just go over all these really quick because it's not really about what I want. It's more of a video about to go over everything. So display mode, window size, and you can always pause if you want to read these things. I'm just going to hover over them so you look at them real quick. Resolution, render scale, obviously you want to keep that at 100%. I bumped it up to 200% and didn't really see much of a visual improvement, so I don't see a need to bump that render scale up. Obviously we have our monitor, we have anti-aliasing. Anti-aliasing is just going to smooth out your jagged edges. We can max MSA 8x, multi-sampling 8x, still getting good frames. Don't think we need 8x multi-sample. I feel like a lot of these settings, some of these settings aren't making a huge difference to me. 1 second here. The setting that I did notice made a big difference was the shadow quality. Anything besides ultra high changes the way the game looks. Alright, so you can see how this tree lit up all of a sudden, right? Go to ultra high. All of a sudden the tree's like dark. So see what impact that has in the world when we look around. Because that's sort of interesting, right? It'll give the game almost a different feel. And I'm full camera distance out here. There's a setting for this I'll show you in a bit. So let's take a look at that again. Let's go from ultra high to high, or ultra high to ultra. And all of a sudden things get brighter. I feel like it's almost like it feels more, happy, for a better, lack of a better term. We go to low, things get even brighter. So basically, the lower your shadows are, the brighter the game is, sort of. Liquid detail. We can go back over to the water over here. See if there's any change to the water. Alright, so right now, I mean, the water, I mean, I'm a Dota player, and in Dota, the water is like really nice and reflective. I'm not seeing the water liquid detail right now is on ultra, and it's not very impressive. Low actually looks better. I'm not sure why that is. This doesn't look like very good to me compared to, let's check good. No. Fair. It's in the middle. Low. Low looks like the realest water. So I'm going to keep that on low. Sun shafts. Let's see if this changes anything as we look into the distance. Not seeing any change there. Particle density. I always want to keep my particle density on ultra because that's going to be your how your casts look, right? When you're casting. I don't have anything to cast on here, but you'll notice that if you cast like a fireball or something, oh, that's interesting. As you move, it shakes the foliage that you run past. Nice touch. See that? How it's moving? Cool. Yeah. It'll make your fireball look like a lot better when you keep that at ultra. So if anything, if you have, bad graphics, I like to keep the particle density high or ultra, and you could lower everything else. Alright, what else we got here? SSAO controls the rendering quality of advanced lighting effects. Let's see. Not seeing any difference. I'm like looking into the background as I change these. And I'm sure, depending on the zone you're in, things will change. But, Controls the rendering of depth-based particle effects. Not seeing any difference. Lighting quality. Once again, not seeing any difference. The big difference is when you're going to go into like ground clutter. We're going to put this to its lowest. All this foliage is going to disappear. Boom. Now this is like your old school sort of classic WoW, even though the game still feels a lot smoother. It feels much smoother, but yeah. Yeah, I can't even kill that wolf. It's level 6. If I wanted to show the particle density. Okay, so back to this. And then I think you could just move this slider. 7 is what they recommend. So we'll go back to the recommended and we'll keep it on that. In advanced here, like I said, we went through this stuff. Multi-sampling, post-process, anti-aliasing. I would never use that stuff. That's all just feels, bloaty and not necessary. Enable this option to optimize network usage for speed in order to decrease lag. This will increase your bandwidth usage. Yeah, obviously if you have good internet, you want this checked on. IPv6, I don't know enough about to talk about. Languages, English. Sound, you got 3 sound channels, 24, 48, and 64. Sound catch, 64, 16. And obviously you have all your stuff here. Okay. Voice chat, I'm not sure what voice chat is for this. Maybe it has something to do with the Blizzard client. Interface options. Okay, so actually we'll do the keybinds real quick. I thought this was interesting. Keybinds in like other clients, you need to scroll all the way down. Well, in this client, you have everything on the left here. And this is really cool actually, because no matter how long I play WoW, I could never perfectly scroll down to right action bar 2, button 1 or something like that. That stuff was always hard to do. So yeah, this is cool. Sadly I can't test like dismount because I don't have a mount. I'd like to see if in vanilla you typically need to click the dismount before you can cast spells. Hopefully that's removed. That would just be nice for a quality of life thing, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, let's go through the interface controls. This stuff is all typical. I'm just gonna look for changes because all this stuff we've seen for the past 15 years. So let's just see if we see any changes. Do not flash screen at low health. That might be a change. Show target of target. I think that might be a change. Status text. Numeric value, percentage, both. That's pretty cool. So you have different ways to do that. Social. You can turn off some filters. You can block trades, block guild invites. Don't know what this is. Me and my friend were trying this earlier. Didn't see a difference. Okay, action bars. So you got all your action bars, obviously. This is for like large screen monitors or something. I click it, it doesn't do anything. Names, unit nameplates. Always show nameplates. Enemy units, friendly players. I would put all that stuff on, so that's good. We get enemy nameplates. Camera. So max camera distance. So you don't need that script anymore to get your camera distance out pretty far. I'm not sure if it'll go farther if you have the script, but this is enough for me. Water collision. Set the camera to be, oh, okay. Mouse. So I think that your game will use your native Windows / native DPI unless you enable mouse sensitivity, then you can change it. So I would just leave this unchecked if you're content with your Windows mouse speed. Mouse look speed, I put this to the slowest. I like low sensitivity on all my games. This is colorblind settings. There's a few different settings here. I'm not colorblind, so I don't know what any of this stuff means. And raid frames. This is pretty cool. Raid profile. You could show power bars. You could display class colors. Auto activate depending on group, and you can use raid style party frames, so your party frames will turn into those little boxes rather than big things like that. Okay, moving on, we can see that you can move your frame, so you don't need an add-on, right? This is really nice. You don't need an add-on to move your frames. Okay, you can move buffs, I think. Buffs on top. I'm not sure. Yeah, buffs on top. So let's see. So there you go. Now it shows the buff there. I don't think you can move these, though, which you might need an add-on to do something like that. Okay. Oh, there's one more thing, actually, that's really cool. Let's put this on our bar here. You guys may know this as, I think it was called Omen in the past. Where is it? Show numbers for cooldowns, right? Check this out. So I hit perception, boom. Now it shows the cooldown there on the time. So that's pretty awesome right there. I like that. Okay, so I think that covers about everything. We went over the system. We went over the interface. We went over key bindings. There's your macros. I haven't tested macros. I don't have enough spells to like test anything, I don't think. No, not really. Yeah, so maybe I'll do another video in the future trying to test macros and add-ons. If you guys want that, just let me know. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.